Welcome back to the Lucas Oil Raceway Racers Tribune. I'm Sean Chambers with Lucas Oil Raceway and the NHRA. In episode number 6, this week we're going to talk with Roger Parks. Now, Roger Parks drives the Punisher dragster that you've probably seen at Lucas Oil Raceway sometime over the past 15 years since he's had that dragster. He's been racing at Lucas Oil Raceway for more than 3 decades, but you haven't seen Roger Park at the track recently. He's here to tell you all about some of the friendships he's made in the racing community, as well as some of the health struggles that he's faced over the past 18 months or so. Episode number 6, Roger Parks here on the Lucas Oil Raceway Racers Tribune. Another episode of the Racers Tribune. We're here at the tower, Wally Parks Tower at Lucas Oil Raceway. I'm sitting next to Roger Parks. Now, Roger Parks, he's not been out here at Lucas Oil Raceway recently, and we'll tell you all about why, but he does have an incredible story and a long drag racing career. So the first thing I want to kind of jump into is about your career, right? Because again, you've been out here long enough, everybody knows you. You haven't been out here in a while, but the reason everybody knows you is because of all those years you spent out here at all the tracks, racing probably around the Midwest, right? So what more can you tell me about your career since the beginning?
Well, I started in 1987 in a 68 Camaro. It was a street car.
Sure.
And just we had to get used to it. We got beat every first round every week, I think, but we were learning.
Mm-hmm.
And just first year coming out, and then we got a win for the 4 months later. We were running here and Terre Haute.
Okay.
Really, that's where we've been anyway. So we've run a little bit in some other places, but we haven't run a lot of tracks. But it just had to get used to it, and we were running Terre Haute to Indy. And they used to run here Sunday and Terre Haute on Saturday. Yeah. So we get Saturday, we hit Terre Haute, drive up to Indy, and race at Indy. We don't run that hard anymore. But just getting used to it, getting beat, figuring it out, and you win 2 rounds or win 3 rounds, and it was like, wow, I won one. So. And we finished started the second year and won 3 or 4 times, and couldn't win this place, but I could win over Terre Haute. And decided we wanted to go faster.
Sure.
So when we got on it faster, we trying to figure out what we could do. And we didn't want to cut the 68 Camaro up.
Yeah.
So we looked around, decided to build a love truck.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one you haven't seen because it's been off the road for 15 years, but I've still got it.
I was going to be my question. Is you were hinting at it, so you do still have it?
I still have it.
Or did you ever do anything with it?
I took the motor tranny out and parked it.
Really?
So I think we're going to come back with it, but we'll see.
Sure.
But just that got in, and when I got it at the end out here, it ran 924 141. So it was pretty good.
Sure.
But and then I was wanting to do something else, and guy had a dragster for sale, turnkey. So we ended up buying it, and it was just a 230 or 225 hardtail, and took his motor out, put my motor in it, and it was running 5.0s right now, and just another thing for the love truck, it ran 580s in the 8th mile. No big deal.
Sure.
So I just had some good years with it, and then then the kidney thing came up.
Yeah. So let's jump into that then. If we're in the timeline here, right? Yeah. So kidney thing. That's one of those things that amazes me about the racing community. And I'll let you really tell the story, but just to set it up some, right? I mean, you've got not just a friend, but a racer, and I feel like so many people that come out here and park in the pits, right, just behind the tower. It's not just a racer, a competitor. You know, it's not just somebody that you see at the tree. You know, whenever you come up for your next pass, it really is. There's a sense of family out there, right? And there's a sense of friendship and so many relationships out there because you guys are with each other every weekend for X amount of months over the spring, fall, spring, summer, fall. You go to other tracks together. You park next to each other. It's crazy. There's a real sense of community out there, and that led to this, right? Tell the story.
It actually came back in 1998. I met Henry Vandervoort, and I actually met him at Terre Haute. And as we were together, we found out we had, just all kinds of things. But in 2000, he said, I learned about this kidney thing. He said, I'm gonna have to have a kidney, but I'm gonna hold on as long as I can. So I kept it in my mind, but we didn't talk about it. We talked to him, and it ended up we just got closer as we were there, as we were around. And then 2009,
10 years. Over 10 years, or around 10 years, right?
It was about 9 years.
Yeah.
So he said, I gotta have my kidney. And I said, well, I'll get tested. I mean, no hesitation. I want to get tested. So he had two family members that tried, and they failed for one reason. If you smoke too much or that stuff. So I'm going tested, and I passed 100%. So they were checking me out, and they were worried about my kidney because I had a fatty liver, and they kept checking it. I checked it like 4 times, different people, and they decided. You just got a fatty kidney. It's no big deal. Or fatty liver. So it came up to May 5th. Cinco de Mayo is when we gave our kidney. So now every year we go out to eat on May 5th to celebrate. So it's been 11 years now.
Wow. And no issues for either of you since. Everything was successful with the donation and all that.
Yep. I mean, I can't tell any difference. So it was a smooth thing. And on Henry's side, he had a bunch of medication, so he's down the medication some.
Okay.
But it was just still some there.
And you mentioned, like you didn't offer it up, right? In 2000, whenever it came up, you didn't offer it up. You didn't, it was like you said, it was in the back of your mind. And then when the time came, it was no hesitation, right?
I mean, I told him then I'll get tested. But that's all. That's as far as it went.
Sure.
But in 2009, that's when I gave the test and I passed.
I have to imagine that's a hard decision for anybody to make. I assume that there are some potential side effects and drawbacks from doing it. I don't know. I've never been affected by anything like that. I've never experienced anything like that. But even the kind of the mental stress of it, right? Like, is it for a lot of people? I'm sure that would come into play. Did it come into play for you?
None whatsoever. I mean, it's a no-brainer to me. I'll get tested, no problem. I hadn't had any problems with kidney in the past, none in the family, so I'll get tested, no problem. And everything worked.
In doing this series and in working here at the racetrack and in talking with racers, 4 or 5 days a week, right? Just with the amount of events that we have, the people who come out here to Lucas Oil Raceway, and I'm sure it's the same way at other tracks because I know a lot of people go to other tracks and things like that. But there's the sense of community is unbelievable, and it's on display every weekend, all weekend, every event, the entire event. And I mean, do you, other than just right in this case where you donated kidney, right, over the 30 plus years that you raced, I mean, did you feel that, right? Like, were you aware of it when it was happening, or just now 30 some odd years later you're like, wow, I've got a lot of friends that are racers?
No, you realize it. I mean, and it comes in different levels. I mean, I got good friends and I got close friends. So, I mean, we all park down here right behind the grandstands on the asphalt, and we all park right in there. So it was us and Henry and 2 or 3 others. And,
sure.
We always just park in the corner. You know, we got other families that park in their corner. You know, they just all park together. Just, and you know, they're waving at you, and you're waving at them. And then when Lucas or when Sunoco was selling fuel, it turns out I was talking to them after their first year at the banquet. I picked up selling the alcohol. So I sold alcohol for 3 years, I think.
Oh wow, okay.
I'm a fuel dealer. I'm a VP dealer.
Okay, yeah.
And that. And it just I've been a dealer now for over 21 years.
Wow.
So I picked up the Sunoco, just the fuel, just the alcohol, just right at the track, and sold it there with them. So they couldn't put alcohol out there in the ground or in the tank.
Yeah.
So that kept them from doing that, and they didn't have to have anybody else to do it. So just no big deal.
So then I'm sure you met probably a few more people that way, right? But
I did.
Yeah.
But I mean, most people are going to be liked, others are so.
We won't name any names, right?
That's right.
So the 2009, you're donating a kidney. Back to racing, right? Yes. I think you told me earlier about 3 months.
About 3 months, and then I slipped back in and started racing again. So
no, nothing, just right back into it. Everything was normal.
Yep.
And so then everything is normal for a good while, about a decade, give or take a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then now we'll get into kind of why you haven't been racing recently, right? What was that story?
February 26th, about
2019, correct?
2019. Just no hesitation. I had a stroke. No warning. No. Something's going on. I passed out. And it just so happens it was in Lafayette, and it's where a road takes a turn, and that's where I hit him.
You were driving?
I was driving. I was running 60 miles per hour, which it was a 40, but I was out 4 blocks. I mean, just out. And I had a car who pushed a car into a city bus. So it woke me up. I kind of looked around and I could see it, but I really didn't know what was going on. And fortunately, a guy knew I had a problem, and the cop did too, and got me in the hospital and got me taken care of quick. It was just so happens it was like a hospital there, like 2 blocks.
Wow.
So I had the help I needed right then, and then they transferred me to Lafayette to Indianapolis. I remember about 10 minutes of it for the first week. I just disappeared. I lost it. And then they got me into RHI here in Indianapolis. And I was in there in a wheelchair. Everything was locked, my right leg was not locked up, but it was weak.
Okay.
Right hand just was hanging down. It wasn't doing anything. And it took me another 3 weeks in the hospital in a wheelchair and going through the therapy. And then they released me to be with family. And I was with them another 3 months, just trying to get everything going. We had 3 months of just trying, going to therapy, and then it just worked out. I stayed with. I got a brother who lives up here in Monrovia.
Okay.
And I got a Henrietta family who lives in Plainfield.
Okay.
So for 1 week in Monrovia, 1 week in Plainfield, it just worked out back and forth, and kind of kept everything. Just those kind of people wanted me to stay with them, doing what they could. I live in Covington, so I'm an hour away from you. I'm 65 miles away from you.
Okay.
So by going to Monrovia and Plainfield, I was right up here. It was right close. So I think I ended there mid-July, and got back home. I kind of bickered with my family a little bit, and I lived in my house. I was by myself. I had a couple cats, but I stayed there and did that. And I didn't want to do what the hospital told me to do, because I could tell some things were better.
Sure.
I said they have an adult there. Why I'm ODR? So I'm ODR'd, and I told the adult. I was walking, so I walked to their mom and dad's house. I walked around as much as I could, and then a couple months later, I got on the bike, and I started a bike. And I had never tried that. I fell off a time or two. It turns out it was from my weak leg. My right leg was weak.
Sure.
But I didn't hit my head, and that was going to be the big scare. I was going to have a head injury. So I did that, but it just went on, and I was getting better every time. And finally, it happened at I think it was mid-December. I got him to take me to a test to see if I could drive again, and I passed. They said like 1 to 20, passed it the first time.
Wow.
Okay, I'm good. So I got my driver's license. I had my license, but I still had their successfulness.
Sure.
So it worked out good, and then we went into winter time because it was mid-December. I didn't drive. Oh, I drove when I needed to, but I didn't have to do it. And then, this year I've been riding a bicycle anywhere from 2 to 5 miles a day most time.
Wow.
Trying to help it out. It's been slow. The whole thing is slow.
Yeah.
But it's going good.
So you went through the whole story there, right? So a couple questions that I have after hearing all that. The first one that I want to ask about is to kind of tie it into the community aspect, and you donated a kidney and the Good Samaritan type of idea, right? So generally, you hear of a car accident and there's a lot of cars involved, and you were going 60, and your initial thought is, what was that person doing, right? What was the person who hit everybody, who caused the accident, doing? You weren't. I mean, this was not by no means your fault, and so and it's less of a question and just more of something I want you to kind of comment on, because you had multiple people come to you and realize something was wrong, as opposed to coming to you to accuse you of doing something you shouldn't have been doing. And that's to me that says a lot.
Yes. I mean, I guess there was a question: is he got something in him?
Yes.
But no, I think he's got a stroke, and that's where he went right away. I mean, I just heard a couple questions about, is there something going on? But stroke was what went headed to it. and it was it. So it's just one of those things. I mean, can't say enough. I mean, it just happened, and this is it. So
I hate to use the word ironic because it is a little bit of a different situation, but you're someone who's been drag racing and driving a race car for 3+ decades, and it happens to be it's if you can put it one way, right, that the odds were probably pretty good that if this was going to happen to be when you're driving, just because of the amount that you are racing and things like that.
I race and I drive at work.
Exactly. So. I mean, I hate to say it's kind of ironic, but it's interesting how some of this kind of ends up focusing around you driving and kind of being behind the wheel. It's something you love, right? And now all of a sudden, not only does something terrible happen, whenever you are driving, but it kind of takes away that thing that you've loved and you've been doing for so long, right? And so I mean, I assume you miss being in a race car, right?
I do, but it kind of takes it back a little bit. Just roll back up, get things fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not going to buy. I sold my dragster.
Okay.
So I sold the motorhome. I just got rid of some things. I've been selling stuff on the side.
Sure.
But I'll probably go back in the love truck. I still got it. Just I got a slow engine for it that ran 550s in a dragster, so it'd be 630, 640 in the love truck, and that would be about right. But I don't know. Just taking my time. That's all I can do.
I assume it puts a lot of things into perspective, right? What's important and what's not.
It does.
Yeah.
It just changed everything for you. For me, anyway. Just hold back and see what, and let it go, and just taking care of it. And the arm's working again.
Yeah.
The legs working again. It's coming back.
We're on the 3rd floor of the tower right now, right? You got up 3 flights of stairs, no problem.
No problem.
And I'm sure there was a time where that was a question mark, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Part of my training and part of the testing was stairs, and it took a while, but I got it.
Yeah. So I'm going to guess you're not 100%. You may never be at 100%.
It may not be.
But if you had to put a number on it, do you have one? Like, are you 75, 50?
I might be 60 to 70% right now.
Sure.
And still got a little bit. I still got more to go.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Awesome. Well, you kind of answered all of my questions. I think you have an incredible story. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Anything else that you want to say? You want people to know about anything, right? Whether it be organ donation, whether it be kind of recovering from things, anything at all.
The organ donation is nothing at all. I mean, if you gave a kidney, you gave a kidney. It's no big deal. It's so many people are scared to donate.
Sure.
It's no big deal. I mean, everything goes right back to normal. At least have it checked.
Mm-hmm.
Kidney wise, because it'll mean something to the guy they're checking or the girl they're checking. So as far as the stroke goes, I'm not warning anybody about anything. I can't wish a stroke on anybody.
Sure.
But just if you're around somebody, just help them out, do something for them.
Yeah.
And again, another thing on the side, they could have killed me. It could have killed me. I didn't good. I mean, everybody that rushed in my family, I rushed to Lafayette and then Indianapolis, and it could have killed me, really. So I'm just lucky to be alive and get better. That's all I can do.
Yeah, and like I mentioned a little bit ago, right? I mean, it's an incredible story. Kudos to you for the bravery on both sides of it, right? And being willing and able and eager to some extent, right, to help a friend, to donate a kidney, to make that sacrifice, as well as, right, the recovery now, right, from the stroke and all that, right? I mean, biking miles a day, right? I mean, continuing the recovery a year and a half later, realizing you're not at 100% and doing whatever you can to increase that percentage every day if possible, right? So, and as well as your family, it takes a village, right? Whether it's fellow racers or whether it's family and friends and or whatever the case is, right? So, again, an incredible story. Thank you for talking to us here at Lucas Oil Raceway and the Racers Tribune, and hopefully, we'll if the goal is to see you in a race car soon, hopefully we see you in a race car soon.
Sounds good.
Thanks again for watching another episode of the Lucas Oil Raceway Racers Tribune. If you have a story to tell, or if you know somebody who does, be sure to head over to lucasoilraceway.com/tribune for more information on the Racers Tribune, what it is, and how you can be a part of it. Thanks again, and see you next time.